There can be no doubt Arizona's border remains broken, but some 14 months since the murder of an Arizona rancher unleashed a torrent of finger-pointing, unprecedented lawmaking, protesting, and party bickering, the game has changed.
We had to do something. We had to stand up. If the feds aren't going to do the job.
No, they said we needed to triple the Border Patrol, or they'll want a higher fence.
But it's not about jobs anymore.
Illegal immigrant apprehensions is at less than half right now of what it was at its peak.
It's about crime.
The violence that has literally destabilized Mexico is here in the United States.
Our guns and money go south.
We cannot have a situation where guns are allowed to walk,
while smugglers and their drugs come north.
I certainly do agree with the chairman's bill to designate cartels as terrorist organizations.
And fugitives from both sides seem to cross almost unchecked.
They're habitual offenders, and unfortunately, those are people that we simply don't want in this country.
The stakes in the border war have never been higher.
We still have ammunition and policies and laws to continue to enforce.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this special presentation of Arizona's Broken Borders from CBS 5 News. I'm Steve McLaughlin, live in Nogales.
And I'm Tammy Leitner. Over the next half hour, we promise to tell it like it is about the border battle, what's working and what's not, and what's changed over the last few years.
And according to some numbers that we just got our hands on today, a lot has changed. Check these numbers out. Illegal immigrant apprehensions have dropped across the southwest border from 1.6 million in the year 2000 to 448,000 in the year 2010. Murders in Phoenix have dropped 50% since 2003. The violent crime rate across the state is down, but violence associated with drug cartels is up.
So why is this important to you in the Valley? The violence is creeping in ever closer to the greater Phoenix area. Border Agent Brian Terry was gunned down about 15 miles north of Nogales. Reporter Morgan Lowe and I took you to the top of a mountain into the cartel caves and ran into a suspected spotter for smugglers just halfway between the valley and the border. And we've taken you to the Vico Valley several times this year for stories on how smuggling has turned very violent. That's where Pinal County Deputy Louis Pearl says he was shot. As the crow flies, that's just 40 miles south of downtown Phoenix.
And Tammy, speaking of your 5 Investigates partner, Morgan Lowe, he's been actually looking into one specific area where somebody is actually doing something right to shut down illegal border traffic, and Morgan is actually getting some national attention.
Seeing the Yuma sector of the U.S. border with Mexico has seen a dramatic turnaround.
This used to be the busiest sector in the Southwest, with immigrants rushing across the border by the hundreds. But the new fence, stadium lighting, and cameras, and 900 agents have dropped the number of border crossers caught from 138,000 in 2005 to just over 7,000 last year.
You get the occasional small group that's easily workable. Rather than the 100, 150, 200 people just jumping over the fence trying to get in. But they're more manageable now.
Border Patrol agents say some nights it's tough to stay awake out there. But the deaths of 2 agents earlier this month while chasing suspected smugglers is a reminder that that is still dangerous business, even in an area where the Border Patrol is seeing success. Scene.
All right, thanks, Morgan. Back in Nogales here, you're going to see more fencing between the U.S.-Mexico border. Now, this area used to be covered by what they called landing mats, which they're essentially big pieces of sheet metal left over from Vietnam airfields. They actually blocked the view between the two countries, making it very difficult for agents to spot smugglers trying to cross over. But they're replacing it now with these very tall poles, making it easier to see and stop those trying to illegally enter the U.S. Well, here live in Nogales, there has been a lot of changes for folks living on the border over the past few years, from fence changes that you just saw to National Guard troops actually being deployed to the border last year. We sent our reporter, Elizabeth Irwin, to check out what life is really like